Ladies and gentlemen, as proof of the unimaginable possibilities in the Marvel multi-universe, we give you...
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow RDJ returned. I knew it, you knew it, we all knew it that he was gonna find his way back to the MCU. As soon as the MCU fell off the fucking planet after Endgame, we all knew they were about to do some down bad shit and call for RDJ to save the MCU.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical. Do you not understand? It's time to pile on a white rap, you know, dirty to snow.
There's been a lot of, you can say, mixed feedback from this announcement, and I hate being that guy, but I'm really stuck in the middle on this one. Both sides have an argument. On one hand, RDJ is an amazing actor, and I think solely for him to play Doom, I think he can do an amazing job with it. But on the other hand, it's gonna be really weird seeing his face on another character in the MCU. It does feel cheap, and they are obviously being desperate trying to revive their dead franchise. But do we care really? Because we get to see more of Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU. It is this weird balancing act for me because they're obviously desperate and I don't really want to reward them being desperate and trying to just throw a Hail Mary. But also, I think Robert Downey Jr. can do a good job with this character. I also hate this stupid multiverse thing because it is just a magical bullshit machine that the writers can just be lazy and say, well, it was from another universe, haha. So now for every explanation for anything that happens in these movies, we'll have the same tone as
Somehow Palpatine returned.
a lot of people were hoping for Cillian Murphy to be casted as Doom, and I gotta say, unless they were willing to throw an all-time bag at him, I don't think Cillian Murphy would want to step anywhere near the MCU right now. Of how much of a mess the MCU is in right now, from the terrible movies and shows that have been getting released, from how dysfunctional it is with the shows getting canceled and moved back, actors getting fired, them changing the whole original plan of the movies, I don't think the MCU is really anything for these big time actors to want to step into unless they already had big ties with the superhero genre like Robert Downey Jr. The MCU is like the Lakers right now, a team with a great history but is a complete mess on and off the court. Klay Thompson had the opportunity to join the Lakers, but he knows how much of a mess they are and decided to join Dallas. The MCU is not much of a draw for these actors anymore. But what's crazy is for some reason, I have hope that they'll turn it around. Deadpool and Wolverine came out. I personally didn't like the movie, but a lot of other people did. The new Captain America trailer actually looks pretty decent, surprisingly. And say what you want about this Robert Downey Jr. announcement, it's gonna bring some excitement. The MCU is in a big prove it phase right now. No more will people just go to an MC movie no matter what just because it's a Marvel movie. They've lost that privilege, dropping Torture in form of She-Hulk and the Marvels. The one argument that I hate from the side that's defending Robert Downey Jr. as Doom is this stupid ass shit of bringing up infamous Iron Man. It is not the same thing at all. And they always bring this shit up with the most annoying ass brat tone of like, oh, these MCU fans, they don't read the comics. There is so much wrong with drawing this parallel between the comics and Robert Downey Jr. becoming Doom. First of all, the comic is a Victor Von Doom variant, so that means it's Doom turning into Iron Man. What the MCU is doing is making Iron Man to Doom. The second thing is, just because it happened in the comics does not mean it's completely fine to now to do in live action. If you didn't know, comics have had bad ideas before. Not saying this is one, but it is possible. There's so many of those annoying people that think they're just cool because they know comics. The third thing is, and it is probably the most obvious thing, live action is different from comics. You cannot treat actors the same way you treat characters in comics. Yeah, seeing Doom as Iron Man in a random comic book issue is completely fine. But seeing Robert Downey Jr.'s face in the MCU as a different character other than Iron Man is gonna be a little weird, and it's more than reasonable for people just to not feel it and think it's weird. Even with that being said, I think what makes or breaks this decision of Robert Downey Jr. being Doom is if the movies are good. If the movies are ass, then the people defending this will have to shut the fuck up and take the L. If the movies are good, then the people hating on this will have to shut the fuck up and take this L. It all depends on the movies, and it will always depend on the quality of the movies. I really don't know what to say about it. It's gonna be really weird to see Robert Downey Jr. playing a different character in the MCU. I really can't explain my feelings towards it. It's interesting because this can either backfire or be the greatest decision ever. The Russo brothers are back and people are getting hype over it, but the problem with the MCU are more about Disney than the directors themselves. Don't get me wrong, the directors that they are hiring are shit too, but I think the overall problem with the MCU is Disney. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was probably the best MCU movie since Endgame. Disney didn't really have much to do with it, and that was more of a James Gunn project than a Disney one. But I don't know. For some reason, I feel like the vibe for Marvel just feels like it's changing. I have confidence in Marvel that the Captain America movie will be solid and the Fantastic Four movie will be good. I think these two movies will be very important for the MCU's future success. In normal circumstances, they wouldn't. But if these movies suck, a lot of people just won't bother into tuning into the next Avengers movie. How do you guys feel about Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU as Doom? Are you feeling it or not? Opinions have been all over the place, but it's been a couple of days since the news dropped, so maybe it's settled down a little.
All right, play Off the Grid.
We off the grid.